Good evening, everybody, and welcome. The date is July 1st, 2024, and we will be starting our regularly scheduled council meeting shortly. But before we do so, we have two public hearings this evening that will precede the council meeting. One is a charter resolution, and one is an ordinance. And so the public hearing on the resolution is going to be a public hearing on charter resolution number 302, concerning amending section 75, city property sale, transfer, or conveyance. Be a resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland and sections 33 and 34 of the city charter to amend section 75 of city property sale, transfer, or conveyance. Is anybody here this evening in the audience to speak on charter resolution 302? Any comments of the council members? Okay. Without any comments from the public or the council members, I now close public hearing on Charter Resolution 302. The time is now 7:02. The next public hearing will be on Ordinance 1158. Ordinance 1158 had a first reading at the previous council meeting. We are now here for a public hearing on Ordinance 1158. Ordinance 1158 is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government of the article of the annotated code of Maryland, sections 33, 34, and 71 of the Havre, Grace City Charter to amend sections of the City Code, Chapter 25, Marina Commission. Is anybody in the audience here this evening to speak on Ordinance 1158? Any comments from the council? Okay. Without any comments from the public or the council, I now close public hearing on Ordinance 1158. The time is now 7:03, and we'll start our council meeting. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The date is July 1st, 2024. I now call to order a council meeting of the Havre Grace Mayor and City Council. I will call the roll. Council President is absent. Councilmember Robertson? Councilmember Jones?
Here.
Councilmember Boyer?
Here.
Councilmember Snegas?
Here.
And Councilmember Booker?
Here.
Thank you very much. Could you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and opening prayer? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody could please kindly remain standing, as it gives me always a pleasure to call forward Reverend Gene Proud of Proud Evangelistic Association. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me, and apologies for not making last time. I had a medical situation with my wife, and it was Wednesday before I knew what day it was. So it was not fun. Let's pray. Lord, everything has been going very smoothly tonight. We thank you for that. We bless the council with wisdom and knowledge and patience and understanding, and wish that everything would go as smoothly as it's gone every time they ever meet. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. We appreciate being here this evening. We're going to go to item 4, which is the approval of minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes to approve. We're going to start with the City Council closed session meeting minutes of June 23rd, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer and seconded by Councilmember Booker.
Snegas.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve the closed session minutes of June 3rd, 2024 carry 5-0 in the affirmative. Item B, the city council meeting minutes of June 17, 2024. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
A motion by Councilmember Jones and seconded by Councilmember Shenanigans. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. City council meeting minutes of June 17, 2024 are approved 5-0 in the affirmative. Item C, city council closed session meeting minutes of June 17, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Boyer. Do I have a second? Oh, I'm sorry. Second by Councilmember Robertson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve closed session meeting minutes are approved. 5-0 in the affirmative. That's June 17th, 2024 closed session meeting minutes. Okay, we are going to go to item 5, which is comments from citizens. This is the part of the council meeting. If you have any business on the agenda or if you're here on any other city business, now's the time to speak.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
real quick, under item 5, city council closed session, we just have to read in the votes to the record. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, so votes from closed session meeting to read into the record during approval of minutes, agenda item 5, CI, on July 1st, 2024. The city council first considered the extension of the contract for the director of planning. Action taken, motion by Councilmember Robertson, second by Councilmember Jones to approve the 3-year extension of Director Borsier's contract. Motion carried 6-0. Secondly, the council members next considered the renewal of the contract for the Director of Economic Development. Action taken, motion by Councilmember Robertson, second by Councilmember Shenanigans to authorize 2 options to Director Johnson for renewal of the contract. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman Robertson. Appreciate you reading those into the record. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go back to item 5, which is comments from citizens. So what I'll normally do is I will call on any citizen first that filled out a form, and after that I will call on the audience at large. And I do have one form filled out, and that is by Mr. Alan Fair. Sir, good evening.
See, Alan Fair, 3 Concord Place, Havre, Maryland, 21078.
Welcome, Mr. Fair.
Thank you. I see down in resolution number 11 is going to come later. Should I talk about it now or wait till later?
You can talk about it now.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate the fact that the city is certainly considering the sidewalk, which the sidewalk is there now that the city did, and in my mind, it's the best one in town. It's a great job, and we appreciate it. Graw Alley, I don't know whether anybody noticed, but as of Friday morning, we had the 4 horses in the starting gate, and they're ready to run. We were going to cover them over till the parade day, but we've got something going on Friday in Graw Alley, which could have 100 people there, so we decided to leave them open. And now the next 3 horses are being worked on. We'll have them by the end of August. So that'll make 8 full-size horses, famous ones. And there'll be nothing like that in the United States of America, except here in Havre. And of course, working at the racetrack as a young man, you know me, I love horses. But Graw Alley, we're very fortunate with some grants that we've got. We don't quite have the building plans ready, but once they're ready, then the federal money, which is $3.3 million, and the way that works is they We spent 500,000, which we've got in the bank, and then they reimburse that, and then we just keep going till that 3.3 is gone. And hopefully by then there'll be more. But the murals, we added the one wall behind the Get Fit building, and not quite done. And then the wall coming from the water, from the east to the buildings, that's a brand new wall, and that's going to be the suffrage. And Ezra's working on that. I want to slow him down a little bit, but he's working on it. He had a covered bridge. Well, they didn't come over in a covered bridge, they come over in a double-decker bridge. So anyway, I gave him a picture of that today. But anyway, we appreciate all the support from the city, its members, people, and when we're done, still going to take a few years because phase 1 will be the lower level and part of the second level. And so anyway, that will take place first. We, meaning me, I'm in the process of combining the 3 lots in Grow Alley. There was part of a lot with the Get Fit building. There was another house there that I bought years ago and tore down. And then part of it with 123 Market. We're going to make that one lot. And when we do that, I'm going to give it to Harmerstown. So, and then behind the building, over to Congress Avenue, that will be part of it, the part that we own or will own. And then down the road, 2 years or whatever, and it's in writing, that when Harmerstown is ready, I'm going to give them the building. Not the Get Fit building, the other one, and 123 Market. And there's 7 apartments upstairs. And they bring in close to $90,000 a year. So that income will go to Harmerstown. So,
That's awesome, Alan. Hey, thank you.
anybody have any questions to me? Any questions of me?
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Fair?
I don't think I know any citizen that's fast approaching 70 years old who's as active as you are.
70 years old?
I mean 90.
I'll be 90 the 19th, but we're having a party on this Sunday, which will make it 90. And you know, you were all invited. So we're going to have a good time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Clark is handling the whole thing. And
Yeah, we have the bounce house ordered already, so.
have what?
We have the bounce house ordered, and so it's going to be
The
good.
bouncy house.
I need that to be because if I can get my wife out of the nursing home, which she wants to be, she's going to need it.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, she'll be in a wheelchair. And the same way on the 4th, we'll be at the Vandiver. But what I will do with her is put her on the porch. This shouldn't be on the record. And anyway, but it's an issue. I mean,
Yeah.
people have to go, and her in particular. Then we'll have her in a wheelchair on the porch because they don't have a ramp, and they can just take her right inside.
Yes, sir.
So I hope that the doctor will let her out. Looking forward.
But we all hope. We hope for good weather and a good day.
You got it.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
So I want to thank you all. It's going to be one beautiful project when we're done, and it's on the way.
It's already beautiful.
Thank you.
Already beautiful.
Well, how about them 4 horses?
They're really cool.
But if you notice, Citation is coming out first.
Right.
And then Seabiscuit will be on the back wall with Seabiscuit. And then 2 of the other ones will be on the front wall where Citation is. And further back behind a couple of horses. And then there'll be one right behind Citation. So it's going to be fun.
You're amazing.
Thank you all.
Happy
Well-
early birthday.
Thank you.
See you all there.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, we're still under item 5, which is comments from citizens. I have no other pre-filled out forms, so I will open the floor at large. If anybody's here tonight to speak on an agenda item or any other matter of city business, please raise your hand and be recognized. Any comments from council? Okay, fair enough. Okay, we're going to go to item 6, appointments. This evening, we have no appointments. Item 7, recognitions. We have no recognitions this either. Item 8, proclamations. We have no proclamations this evening. But presentations for item 9, we do have presentation. And this will be the Safe Streets and Roads for All. And I'd like to call forward representatives for that. And we have the slideshow all set up, Mr. Rubizinski?
I'll just give a quick introduction just so everybody's aware of the project. I've spoke about before, Safe Streets for All program. This is an action plan. It's a grant that we were awarded along with Bel Air and Aberdeen to study several different areas in our communities. We all have kind of different issues going on, so it was a very interesting project for the consultants. This group was chosen from a group of, I think, 3 or 4 different consultants that had applied. Pat Shepard is with EXP. She's got a long transportation history in Montgomery County, and Bo Uwan's with Endesco. He's a traffic engineer. So they looked at, I think, 7 different intersections in Havre de Grace. A lot of them are along SHA roadways. So there's been a lot of coordination and ongoing coordination they'll go on with SHA. So I will let them begin.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Bo and I have been working on this project since December. We came out here in January on a very snowy day, so it's nice to be here where there's water and sunshine and nice temperatures. So we feel very invested in this project. We really, both of us have done a lot of work in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and coming out to Harford County and getting to know these 3 communities and to use the lessons that we've learned in other jurisdictions and applying them here where we know that it can make a difference. And the boards that you see here are some of the boards we presented at the public workshop on February 15th. I recognize a few of you from the public workshop. And we brought them back because we wanted to emphasize the importance of Vision Zero, complete streets, the safe system approach, and the type of countermeasures that would really help try to eliminate fatalities and severe injuries on roadways. There was $5 billion over 5 years through the bipartisan infrastructure bill that this grant was from. So $1 billion a year is available. And with this action plan, we really hope that the recommendations that we list, the kind of the rough order of magnitude of costs can really help you kind of create your own prioritization based on the needs of each of these 8 intersections. And now that it'll be an adopted document, you can refer to them. And so what we're presenting tonight are the 8 intersections. We like to call these each intersection has a snapshot. So Bo will be going through 8 intersections. So I don't know how much time we have, but if we have 5 minutes, that's 40 minutes. If we have to go, 30 minutes, we'll try to, probably this first one will take a little longer, and then some of the others might be less. So we'll start with each snapshot looking at deficiencies, and that was provided by both field observations and then through the public engagement process, what we've heard from the community and from other stakeholders such as the state and some of you that were part of the workshop. After we go through the deficiencies, then we'll go through the countermeasures and our recommendations. So with that, I'm going to introduce Bo again. Take it over.
All right, thank you, Pat. My name is Bo Yuan with Indesco. So on this project, we're supporting ESP to do the traffic and safety analysis. So on the screen, what you are seeing is the one page from the report. And as Pat mentioned, there are 8 locations in the city. For each location, we have averagely somewhere from 3 to 4 pages. The first page like this, it shows the map of the location and key issues with numbers, and some basic information like traffic speed limit, roadway type, and traffic volumes, and the level of service, and some photos we took in the field. And the second page, we show the crash analysis, the crash summary, and the key point from the public input. And the following page, we show the countermeasures we have and associated with the cost of those countermeasures. And last page for the location shows the map with the countermeasures we propose. So let me start with the first location right here. We number the location by number. So first one is H1. That's probably the most dangerous or most complex intersection in the town, in the city. We call this H1 is the US. Let me just zoom in here so you can see clearly. This is US 1 and Otsego Street and Ohio Street. It's 5-leg intersection. Zoom in and move this a little bit forward. Okay. So this location have a traffic signal and it controls 5 legs of traffic. And we see this location has many dangerous situations. For example, number 1 here is the traffic from Otsego Street have many conflicts with the side streets. We have traffic going from Otsego, from US 40, and also from Ohio Street. And we have seen there are about 23 crashes reported from the last 5 years. And number 2 is the very long crossing. As you can see here on the south leg of the intersection, crossing US 40 is very long. And we have seen that people having difficulty crossing the long crosswalk within the time. And then number 3 is the southbound traffic from Ohio going onto US 40 or Otsego. This left turn usually is very congested, very long backup. And it may overflow up to the upstream intersection of the Ontario and the Ohio intersection. And number 4 is the upstream Ontario and Ohio intersection. Sometimes the backup traffic from this southbound traffic may back up that location and cause a further queue. And down here you can see the field photos. We saw these 2 young adults, they're trying to cross. Actually, it started from the Royal Farm, the bus stop right here. Let me zoom in more. They're crossing from the bus stop right here at the Royal Farms. Because there is no marked crosswalk, they have to cross the roadway. From the Royal Farm down, across this very wide lane, and cross the 2 lanes at Ohio, and cross the west side of Otsego, and reach the marked crosswalk, and then cross US 40, which is very wide, and cross back to Otsego, and up to their destination on the north east corner of the intersection. Very wide, very long crossing path. It's unsafe.
Access the transit.
Yes,
Station.
from the bus stop. Yeah.
From the bus stop.
Yep. All right. Let's move on to the mitigations we are trying to propose, which is.
We also noticed
Sure.
the utility pole had been hit
Yes.
by large vehicles trying to make that turn, so,
Yep.
yeah.
It's very very bad shape. Right here, the westbound traffic from Otsego trying to make a right turn. This right turn is very sharp. So I've seen this utility pole right here at the corner was hit very badly. And then it's one of the countermeasures here. So countermeasures, we have 3 types. We call them short-term, mid-term, and long-term based on the estimated time frame to implement. Typically, I think short-term is from like 0 to 1 year. The midterm is 1 to 3 years, and then long term is longer than 3 years to implement. And on the map, we color code them. The green is short term, and the blue is midterm, and then the yellow is long term. Zoom in here. All right, hopefully you can see this. So short-term one is for the southbound Ohio and Ontario. So right now we are told that during the peak hours, the southbound traffic on Ohio, they back up, and the queued vehicle could take this median marked yellow hashed area and try to cut in lines, and that could cause some crashes here. So we're trying to propose to install a raised island to force traffic only use the one lane, not encroaching the center yellow hashed area. And okay, short-term number 2 is to evaluate the signal timing. That would be to increase or to evaluate and maybe increase the yellow and the all red clearance times to make sure vehicles can clear out the intersection before the crossing the street traffic can enter the intersection to reduce the rear end and right angle crashes. Number 2. And number 3 is, let me zoom in more, you can see clearly. It's about this little island here at the northeast corner. So here we have, like I said, there the right turn issue for the larger vehicles, and also this piece of pavement is not necessary, and so we can try to build reconfigure the island to shorten the crosswalk for pedestrians, so they can make this will make the pedestrians more safer to cross the street, and also to reconfigure this right turn lane properly so that this radius is a little bit wider to accommodate the large turning vehicles, not to hit the utility point anymore. For the midterm, we're trying to address the missing sidewalks and crosswalks. So we propose that new crosswalks and sidewalks to be installed from this corner, from the Royal Farm gas station right here, down there. Zoom in more. Okay. So from the Royal Farm down here to cross right here, and then expand this center island a little bit, and then build a sidewalk, a crosswalk on it, and then add a new marked crosswalk to cross Ohio, and have a sidewalk to cross to connect this sidewalk to Otago, and then connect to US 40 crosswalk. And then here, this will require a modification of the traffic signals, include the pedestrian countdown timer and push buttons, so pedestrians can safely cross from from this corner to other corners of the intersection. And next page shows another option we propose to be considered, because we know that there was a Maryland DOT State Highway report was done 4 years ago that proposed about four options to improve this intersection. So we figured this could be the 5th option to be considered. So in this option, we propose to at this 5 intersection, we propose to eliminate the traffic from Ohio to make this intersection of regular 4-lane intersection, would reduce the traffic demand, reduce the safety concerns. And instead, we will make this intersection of US 40 and Ontario to be a full 4-lane intersection with traffic signal control. So that way, traffic from Ohio southbound can make a left turn, get on Ontario, and make the turns they need to access their destinations. So that way, we can divert some traffic volume from this very dangerous 5-lane intersection. But of course, this will be this require additional traffic safety for operations and safety. So that will be the first intersection. Any question on this?
Any questions? Councilman Robertson?
So, this particular intersection has been a problem for the citizens here for a long time. And I know that our past council president frequently would call the state, because I believe, from my knowledge, that's a state run intersection. And, you know, I think it would typically be like crickets from there. So if I'm understanding correctly, the grant funding that's available, I believe that's the IIJA funding, yes? How do we, as a municipality, go about applying for that and then also getting the state's buy-in? I guess it would be SHA, or would it be better to speak with SHA first and see if this could be a priority for them?
Yes. Good question. I would recommend that you begin with the state, District 4. We've recently, I think, caught their attention with this action plan, and some of the members of the technical safety committee that was created as part of this project. So the representatives, I think, on that committee have been speaking to District 4. I've also been in touch with others within State Highway, so they're very aware of this intersection and other intersections that were part of this action plan. Actually, this study, the Wallace-Montgomery 2020 study that Bo referenced 4 years ago, that had other alternatives, I think that was kind of on hold for a while, and the discussions have begun again to revisit all of the intersections and to specifically look at these alternatives, go back and try to select which ones make the most sense to look at further. And from the state's perspective, of course, there are, there's only so much, though, that if they have a preference, they need to coordinate with the local municipality. So you all need to agree. So I think your next step really would be set up another meeting, make sure you select the alternatives that you'd like to advance for perhaps further study. There's a lot of analysis in selecting one of these. If there's additional synchro analysis, that would be required. It's going to be something that they would ask of you to do, or the additional study it would be needed in order to make a final selection of any alternative. But I think that the state has to take the lead, but with your buy-in. So
Is that a process that you can help us navigate?
we could talk about that as how to continue the communication. But it's already been established, so that's good, because I think it was on hold for a while, and now it's definitely on people's kind of priority list.
I'm seeing a north and south from Tim over there, so it sounds like that's already in the works.
Yeah, I'll let Tim.
SHA and the county recommended one of those 4 alternatives already. They're looking at alternative 4. And then Bo had and their group had put together this alternative 5. So SHA is supposed to look at that to see if that is better, worse, same as 4, and then we're going to continue down the path.
All right, let's move on to the next section. Sorry.
Councilmember Boyd?
So I just want to put out there, just for edification, that there were 4 options plus 2 alternatives provided by the state in the Wallace-Montgomery study. None of those options included pedestrians or bicycles, which your study does include. It also, option number 4, does not address the one point that you pointed out, which is basically at the Waffle House, that the turn lane needs to be adjusted and there needs to be an ADA compliant solution for that intersection at that point. Yeah, exactly right where you're highlighting it. So my question from all of this is, okay, so we have your study, we have the Wallace Montgomery study, we have the meetings that occur, we have meetings at the staff level, meetings at the legislative level. Is there a final document that we need to get to? And what is it called that we would be getting to? What do we need to ask to get to in order to get to a point where that it's considered the final decision document? Is there a name for it, or?
I'm not sure how your jurisdiction approaches this, but
Yeah, I mean, this action plan would be the final document. I mean, then it would be, for this roadway, it'd be up to SHA to decide how to move forward, because it's their roadway. So I
So
don't know
what
if
they're
there's-
presenting is going to be the final document?
this will be the final document from them as our consultants for this roadway. But SHA is now looking at this intersection and what EXP's provided, and also alternative 4 from the Wallace Montgomery study to see what's best. So I don't know if they'll put out, an official report, but this is sort of our guiding document, especially since there's more Safe Streets for All money. So there's demonstration and implementation money. And this is the first part to say, we need money for short-term and midterm projects as presented in our action plan. So, but now on SHA roadways, we'd have to team up with them. We need their blessing for these things. So I don't know that they would officially publish a report, or they'll just give us a thumbs up, or not sure.
right. And again, I don't think there is a report. I think you do need to set up a meeting to then hire or have a project internally, a project lead that can kind of, continue to move and advance the project. And, it's just this intersection at this point that I'm speaking of, let's say. But, you already have a lot of study that's been done. But for instance, if you pick this alternative, just to say, Ontario is a very short,
It's
it
narrow.
could have queuing, so you need to do some additional traffic analysis. And once that's done, so you need funding for that. And then once that's done, then the state will evaluate based on the results of that study if this is a viable option. So again, this is still conceptual, so it could take, still years. So it just depends on the amount of funding and how much you want to prioritize.
But what you were saying is that with we could have potentially short-term wins with the demonstration funding that would be available, which could be their short-term and midterm solutions versus the long-term solution.
There's either demonstration money is sort of what we're doing with the bike lanes now. So they're sort of, I want to say they're temporary, but they're sort of, you create what it would look like down the road, and then if it doesn't work, you can kind of quickly pull them away. So like with bike lanes, like flex posts and things like that, they're $20-25 each. So you can kind of design what an intersection or something would look like, or how bike lanes would be separated from the roadway, without painting lines and doing all that labor, because then if it doesn't work, you can just pull up the flex post and go somewhere else. So here, demonstration money in a lot of ways would be probably difficult. I'm not sure how you would. It would be, you'd have to be really creative, but maybe in the later slides when they talk about the Maryland T, that could be something that we set up with barrels and signage to begin with, to sort of get people on the right path, and that's what you would use demonstration money for. But implementation money could be used for short-term, midterm design, all those sorts of things. Design normally isn't allowed in demonstration, only up to the point that you need to design
Design for the demo.
for the demonstration. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
All right, thank you. Let's move on to the next one, H2. All right. So H2 is the US 40 at Lewis Lane. Okay. All right. So US 40 is this way, and then you have Louis Lane crossing here. We have several issues here. Number one is that on Louis Lane on the well, actually US 40 by USA by SHA the convention is US 40 is east west. So Louis is north south. So here Louis Lane on the north leg on the west side. It's missing the sidewalk along Louis Lane. And number two is right here at the bus stop right here. There is a little bit side distance issue with that location. And number three is on Louis Lane, you have all the shops on both sides, but there's no crosswalk here, crossing Louis Lane. And number four is the bus stop. We have two bus stops here, one on each side of US 40. But there are no ADA compliant bus paths for pedestrians or for passengers to use. Number five is on the north side of US 40 is right here, just in front of the old gas station. Here, there's the lack of a sidewalk along the US 40. We have some people walking right here. See the photos here. They're walking on the kind of shoulder or grassy area, because there's no sidewalk for them to use. And then number six is that on Louis Lane, on the north leg, the queue sometimes can be long for the left turn, and then the left turn vehicle might block the only lane to cause the right turn vehicles cannot move. Number seven is on the south leg of the the Louis Lane. And we do to that during peak hours, the traffic trying to turn into the Burger King parking lot versus the traffic trying to turn into the CVS parking lot, they may gridlock the whole intersection, block the entire road. And a couple of photos here. The first photo here shows the pedestrians walking on the shoulder or grassy area. And then here, for this only marked crosswalk here, we found that there are the countdown pedestrian timer for this crosswalk, but they're not working, so there is no countdown on the countdown timer. That needs to be fixed.
We've already identified that, and the state is aware of the issues.
Yeah, they will fix those, yes.
Have they fixed it?
So Wawa was just approved, and they're taking over that BP, and a lot of those items that you've put on there, they're going to integrate. So there'll be a shared use path on that side of the street, and a sidewalk that goes in front of the BP. And then we'll just continue to integrate things as new things redevelop in that area. So there was a car wash proposed across Louis Lane. It'll be something else now, but we'll provide this to them and the planning commission through that approval process and make sure those are integrated when redevelopment occurs.
But has the state fixed the crosswalk timing?
No, the developer will be on the hook for that.
Okay.
All right, so let's go through these kind of areas. Here we have a short term here. It shows as 4. That's to evaluate the signal timing. So here we think that because there are traffic, we saw kids walking across US 40 in this crosswalk. We figure it would be beneficial to add that's called a lead pedestrian interval, so that the pedestrian get into the crosswalk before the vehicles can make a turn. That will help. And also to evaluate the yellow and all red clearance time intervals to reduce the chance of right angle crashes and the rear end crashes on US 40. And S1 here is to repair the misfunctional countdown timer signal. And then down here, like Tim mentioned here, to implement all the mitigations covered by the Wawa proposed recommendations in their study, mainly on the north side of Louis Lane, including the remarking of the street and then modify the access to this lot here. And okay, here we are proposing to install the missing sidewalk on the north side of US 40, along US 40 here, so people can, so pedestrians can access to bus stop and the shops safely in using the new sidewalk. And on the south side, along Ulysses Lane, we propose to add this missing sidewalk so people can walk on the sidewalk to access this bus stop here, right here at the corner of the intersection right here. And on Louis Lane, we were told that there is an ongoing study to add bike lanes on both sides of Louis Lane. Because Louis Lane is a pretty wide spot, somewhere about 38 to 40 feet wide, but only has one lane in each direction. That allowed much space to be used for bike lanes on both sides. And also for the longer term, well, for the midterm, we propose to do a further study to evaluate if the access point to the Burger King parking lot and also the access to the CVS parking lot can be either reconfigured or moved or removed. For the longer term, the shared use path along US 40 can be considered, and then to build the shared path use along the corridor for pedestrians and bikers.
And that's part of the combined alternative, where it would cross at Lewis, so that at this intersection, we'd also have that, when it would run along the north side from Aberdeen up to this point, and then this would also be an important crossing for cyclists as well. So once that concept is solidified and you get further into the design, you need to revisit this and make sure that the safe crossing for bicycles.
Yes. And also, we recommend to rebuild the traffic signal here to add more crosswalks, 3 more crosswalks to cross the north leg, south leg, and the west leg, so pedestrians can walk using any of the crosswalks to cross US 40 or Louis Lane. And that will also include to build ADA ramps on all corners, and of course the APS push buttons and the countdown timers for all crosswalks. That's all for H2. Any comments or questions?
Councilmember Boyer?
2 items. For Lewis Lane towards the bridge, is that going to be addressed by Amtrak?
I don't know if we've gotten that far yet. Probably though. I mean, they are going to do bike lanes across the bridge when they rebuild it. That was something that we had discussed. So extending it, I don't know that it would be a big issue.
Right. And redlining, so that people know what line to be in, so we don't have accidents as a result of that. So that's number 1. Number 2, so on Route 40, where the crosswalks are in the middle, there are times where people get stuck in the middle of it. Or does your proposal have any recommendations on what can be done to make it safer for people who get stuck in the middle as traffic is driving by at supposedly 50 miles per hour, but really going sometimes a lot faster than that?
Yes, so for this proposed signal rebuild, that will include consideration of adding additional push buttons in the median, because they look very wide. Based on station standard, if the median is wider than, just like wider than 20 feet, then we can install either 1 or 2 additional push buttons in the median. It
So
could be
just
a 2-stage
push
crossing.
buttons?
Push buttons with kind of timers.
Is there anything like to give them just safety? And like I don't even know how to describe it, like something that would stick in the road, so there'll be just something between them and a car if something gets a little too close to that side? Is it even possible?
That would be a design problem. I mean, the design consideration. Given the width of the median, I believe the push buttons are required, and that will be typical on the back of the crosswalk. If you look at this here, there is also a nose here beyond the crosswalk that provides some protection for the pedestrians to stand, near the back of the crosswalk.
What I usually see stuck in the middle there are people in mobility, I don't even know what those are. Mobility chairs, yeah. like the scooters, basically is what I see stuck there. For the most part, the kids just run across when they're not supposed to, but it's the mobility chairs that get stuck there.
Yes, usually the medians are, they have curbs. So that will provide some protection
Some
for
assistance there.
yeah, people stuck in on the median.
Thank you.
Okay. H3 is the US 40 and the Martha Lewis Boulevard. Here the main issues are that number one is that if I further zoom in here to the queuing space at the center of the intersection here, you can see that although there are newly installed marking with the center yellow line and we call it shark tooth triangles here. But if you look at this closely, there are some issues with this because, for example, left turn or U-turn vehicles from US 40 going eastbound direction, they have to, if they go by this marking, they have to make a very sharp 90-degree turn to get in this little space here, in a way to finish their U-turn or left turn onto Martha Lewis. But that really barely happens. Most people we saw in the field just make a turn. Just make a turn near the nose here, in this area, to make a right, a left turn or U-turn, regardless of this yellow or the white triangle markings. That creates some confusion on the unsafe situation. And the second issue is that this location, although have bus stops on both sides of US 40, there's no crosswalk for pedestrians to use. So if we move on to the mitigation here. Okay. Mitigation here, we have two options, but they are not short-term because we figured that some reconfiguration can help, but they take some time. Option one would be to install, it's called a restricted crossing U-turn or R-cut intersection. Another one is called Maryland T intersection. I guess we don't have the diagram here. So those diagrams are in the appendix of this report, which is not in this PDF. But for the R-cut intersection, basically the left turn vehicle, let's say your left turn vehicles from Martha Lewis, they cannot make a direct left turn from here, going to that direction. Instead, they will have to make a right turn first, and then cross lanes to the west side, and then make a U-turn at the new opening of the median, and then come back to go eastbound direction. So that way, we eliminate all the left turns, make it safer. And then the Maryland T intersection so left turn will remain, but here this will be a new triangular shape here at the right here. So this eastbound US 40 left turn will make a left turn here, and then the southbound left turn from Martha Lewis will make a left turn in this direction here, and then merge onto US 40 on the left side. So that way we separate those two left turns, and also with this new medium here, we can potentially add a pedestrian crossing, but which is not safe because of the high speed on the US 40. But here we also look at the traffic signal, but the volumes are pretty low, so traffic signal may not be warranted.
Do have it in the
Oh, yes.
report, but
You wanna pass it over? So this page shows the Maryland T intersection and the R-cut intersection. For the longer term, again, we have US 40 shared use path study that goes through this intersection, so that will provide potential shared use paths for bicyclists and pedestrians. They also mentioned the next intersection, which is very similar. H4 is US 40 and Blenheim Lane. It's very similar geometry, but have a little bit different issue here. So again, it's also a T intersection with US 40 and side street. So again, this center curvation is very similar. The Q space is very awkward. Okay. So it's very similar to the other Martha Lewis lane intersection here. So same here, we have bus stops on both sides of US 40, but we have seen people crossing US 40 to reach the bus stops, which is very dangerous. And also, the difference between this one and the other intersection is that here on the south side of US 40, we have this little shopping square, which have some track volumes going in and out. And also the track volumes from Blenheim Lane is much higher than the other intersection. So this intersection may warrant a full color intersection traffic signal. And then you can combine the shopping, maybe you can consider to reconfigure the shopping center access to make it a four-leg intersection with traffic signal control. So again, here we're proposing the R-cut intersection concept or Maryland T or full signal control. So any questions or comments about these two locations?
Just real quick, so just to be clear, on the last intersection at Martha Lewis Boulevard, we're not sure if signalization will work there, but here it's being recommended.
Right, because
Okay.
here pedestrian volumes is much higher, especially with this community here and the south west corner here, all these mobile homes. A lot of people are using those two bus stops.
Great, thank you.
I have a question. So one of the things that we've heard from the state is that in order to have a traffic light, it has to be a certain distance away from other existing traffic lights. So in that case, at Blenheim Farm, is it far enough away from the other traffic lights at, I believe it's Robin Hood, would be the closest to that one? So it's far enough to
That
be
is
able
far
to?
enough, yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the next intersection. H5. H5 is the all right, H5 is MD 155 in Ohio and Superior Street, right here. So here we have some issues we noticed in the field. Number one is that the existing sidewalk on the east leg on the south side only stops at the church, but we understand that because this sidewalk only serves the people walking and from and to the church, which may probably make sense. Number two is that right here, so number three is right here, this turning movement from the northbound Ohio onto Superior or MD 155. It's kind of a little bit have some side distance issue. And number three is this curve here down from MD 155 is a little bit dangerous because it's a combination of a horizontal curve and a vertical curve. It's going downhill and followed by a curve. So for mitigations, we have quite a few things going on here. Okay, start from the left to right. So on the left side, that's the downhill MD 155. So here, we saw that there are already signs to warn drivers that need to slow down, but we still we figured that there are additional measures can be taken. For example, we propose to install these transverse lane rumble strips across the lane, so reminder drivers need to slow down, and with the marking to say only, right turn only, and a sign here says right lane, turn right only, to make sure people they slow down and know there's a turn ahead of them, ahead of the lane. And also another thing is that we could consider to have an automated speed camera with a sign to make sure people will not speed on the curve. And also on the north side of the MD 155 right here, there's a downhill slope outside the lane, which could be a dangerous situation. So we propose maybe a guardrail can be evaluated and installed here just to provide protection. Just in case somebody speeding and then crash into the downhill and fall and turn over. And then let's move on to the intersection. Okay. So here, right here at the intersection, center of the intersection here, the existing grass median is only this small, which leaves pretty large unused and unhatched pavement in the middle, which can be confusing. So we propose to do a expand island expand the island and put on new signs and marking and mark this little gray areas to sort of remind drivers there's a island here. They need to either go straight or go right. And then on the right hand side on Superior Street, again the pavement is very wide, so there's potential to install bike lanes along the corridor. And at the intersection here, on the northbound Ohio approach, this corner can be extended by a bob out and then push the stop bar further closer to the intersection to reduce the side distance issue for Ohio street traffic. And then at the intersection right here, we can install yield marking with the sharp teeth or markings to remind that the traffic coming from the Superior making this left turn here, they need to stop and yield to traffic coming from the right hand side from the down slope. And then just for concept, we look at the potential of having a traffic runabout here. It's a one-lane runabout. So this dashed circle shows roughly what's the footprint if we install one-lane runabout here that will take this much space. And again, in the future, we can evaluate the feasibility of a bike lane on Ohio and the Superior streets in this area. Any comments or questions?
Any questions, council?
I just had one really quick one. I understand that as for signaling, I understand that Blenheim Run is, I think that's what was being proposed, is the Blenheim Run signaling was a possible proposal. And then something, the one before that is the Greenway Farms. Now, and right before that was another problem area. And I thought you had mentioned something in regards to them not being too close together, if there was considered to have a signal there or not.
Yeah, so at Blenheim, basically where Bully Rock empties out, the question
Blenheim,
is
right.
if it's too close to the signals at Robin Hood or at Revolution. Previously, the state has said that they don't want signals on Route 40 in that section because it's too close to them. And that's what they've said previously.
Yeah.
Now, the paradigm has changed in regards to the amount of people who live in Bully Rock and who are using that intersection, and that might change their algorithm on how they
Right.
determine whether or not a signal is justified or not.
No,
The other thing has changed over time also is the accident count.
I know I was fortunate to attend the SS4A when you were here at the Visitor Center, and I really appreciate that presentation, and I think the Director of Planning for actually spearheading that one, and EJ was there as well. The Director of DPW was actually there, kind of guiding me along. But there was a little bit of a chatter about the one before that. I just mentioned the housing area right there.
No, Blenheim
Right, Greenway,
housing,
yeah,
yeah, it's also
Greenway
called
Farms.
Blenheim, right?
The Greenway, right, so the Greenway, so that's
Greenway,
that's not being discussed, that's not, I mean, because otherwise, yeah, I feel it'd be this huge accordion effect, so I'm happy to hear
Now,
that.
Greenway Farms is where Martha Lewis is, and that was
Right.
item number H3.
So I
Item
mean, so
H4
now we're
was
looking at
Blenheim,
like-
which is
So
Bully
now I'm
Rock.
looking at like, which would be, what, that would be before Revolution, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I got that as a consideration, and then Revolution, and then, so that seems like that's quite a bit of signals there, so yeah, so I guess, that's my only concern, was just that, so.
Yeah.
I drive a Silverado, so it kind of consumes the gas when you stop and start, but no, I appreciate that, thank you for the clarity.
Okay, H6 is Revolution and Louis Lane. Okay, so here, the first deficiency we noticed was that the crosswalk markings are kind of faded and it's hard to see, especially on Louis Lane. There used to be a marked crosswalk, but now it's gone. And number two is that there's no crosswalk. There's no sidewalk between the school and the intersection. So we have seen kids either walking on the street or walking across the parking lot. And number three is that, well, at the signal right here, there's no push button or no pedestrian kind of timers. So students, they don't know how much time they have left to cross the street. So these have to run very quickly. Yeah. Number four is the ADA ramp here on this corner right here. It doesn't, right here, it's not ADA compliant. And here just some photos we showed that we saw students either running or just jaywalking across the intersection during the 3:00 p.m. I'll move on to the mitigations. All right, so at the school entrance here, we're proposing number one is the bike lane along Lewis from Revolution all the way to US 40 on both sides. And then we propose to install a new sidewalk from school entrance all the way to Armstrong Avenue to connect to the existing sidewalk right here. And then propose a new sidewalk from the school entrance to the signal here on Louis Lane. And then we can install new crosswalks at the school entrance intersection at these three legs here. And then the next one will be to rebuild the traffic signal here with all the ADA ramps, all the push buttons and pedestrian countdown timers, everything. Well, another issue we saw that was the many students, they cross this big sort of a meadow or grassy area from somewhere here directly to somewhere near the tracks. So we figure the city need to talk to the school to see what's the preference. Do they want to allow students to cross this area, or do they want to reroute all the students to cross to use the sidewalk? Based on the decision, new signs can be installed. Revolution, I think there is another study going on that could do the road diet to reduce the traffic lanes and add potential bike lanes. But while we'll keep the necessary left turn bay at the signal to make sure the left turn vehicles have the space to wait. That's all for this intersection here. Any comments or questions? All right, let's move on to the next one. Page 7 is right here. It's Pennington and Union Avenue. Oh yeah, first issue was that the last time we were here, we saw that the crosswalk marking were the parallel style, which is outdated. Now today we saw that they are already in continental style, which is good. High visibility crosswalks. And number 2 is that we saw that a lot of parking spaces, they are kind of awkward, and then they may have some side distance issue for vehicles backing up from the parking spaces, may cause some parking problem. And number 3 is that number 3 is that here Union Avenue is non-stop traffic. Pennington is stop sign control, but here the sign only says stop. It doesn't remind drivers to know that the Union Avenue traffic does not stop. Let's move on to the mitigations. All right. So for the stop sign, we propose to add the little plaque says cross traffic does not stop. So make sure they understand they have to stop and then yield to any vehicle on Union Avenue. And then there are some lighting problem along in this area. Given the amount of pedestrians, we recommend a lighting study to be done and see if any deficiency in lighting and how to improve the lighting conditions. And here we also recommend a study to evaluate maybe to see if a four-way stop control is required for this location, given the traffic volumes and pedestrian volumes. For the longer term, so this Pennington Avenue is part of the proposed civic spine corridor based on the 2022 study. That will include the road diet and then linear park and wider sidewalk along the corridor. So that needs to be considered for this action plan. And also the future bike lanes can be installed, can be considered along the corridor. All right, any questions or comments on this one?
Just so that we have a better understanding of the bump outs, would that be raised in just solid cement, or is it more
Decorative?
dark? I don't know, for the word decorative, or like, is there grass usually in that? What is the?
This really depends on.
Again, that's part of a design process, so, I'm not sure based on the concept, if, you're planning on doing additional streetscaping, whatever the ultimate streetscape design results in. It could be, brick and concrete, could be pavers of gray paver, there's so many variables. But just, an initial step as a demonstration project could be flex posts and paint and
Decorative paint
Observe.
is, decorative paint is now allowed on the roads?
it's not on state, but if it's a local road, it's up to your,
It's just the crosswalks are, allowed to be decorative, that's not allowed to be, crosswalks are not, because before we had cool things like books or musical notes and stuff like that, and that was removed.
On state roads? On state roads or on?
Approaching state road. So the whole concept here is just to shorten the amount of time it would
Passing
take somebody to get
distance.
to a safe place. And that'll make a huge difference. And just pointing out to everybody, this is also right by where the Opera House is, and we already know that there are problems at night, low visibility, people dressed all in black, walking across the street with already a low amount of light in that area, and we've had instances of pedestrians being hit in that area.
I believe we recommended additional lighting.
Yeah, a lighting study, yes.
Part of our recommendation in
Yeah.
the matrix. Eventually, you'll have the full report for, sake of time, as you could tell, I think it was important for us to go over the deficiencies and then the countermeasure and recommendations, and given time commitment, you'll have the ability, we'll give you a copy of the full report and look at it in detail and then provide additional comments at a later date. But we wanted to make sure you understood that, we looked at all the deficiencies and then how to address solutions. But those type of comments that you've just made about the lack of lighting was something we've also heard from our public workshop, so it was part of our recommendation. We were there during the daytime, so that's not something, we looked, but having kind of it verified by, the community really helps make sure that we're addressing all the issues.
Well, you're welcome to come back for a visit in the evening.
Well, now that it's summer, maybe.
Yep. All right, that will bring us to the last section for the study. That's the H8. Again, it's right here is Pennington and Juniata. It's right here by the school. To the All right, so number one issue we saw was that because the Juniata is wide open and flat and very wide, so vehicles like to speeding on Juniata. But actually there's only one lane in each direction. And number two is that all the crosswalks, well, when we were here last time it was the old style, but now these all have visibility continental styles, so they're good for now. And then for the mitigations, okay. Mitigations here, again, we are trying to propose the curb extension on both sides and all corners to shorten the crossing distance for students. And also can consider to install the rectangular rapid flash beacon. And so on Juniata, we propose to install better lane marking to highlight that there is only one travel lane in each direction, and the shoulder space is not for driving, is not for. It's basically to mark the 12-foot or 11 or even narrower lane, maybe 11-foot or even 10-foot lanes, to reduce the speeding problem. And also on the south side, to install high visibility, to install the better ADA compliant ramps to cross the south leg of the intersection. And bike lanes should be evaluated for all three legs. That's it for, and also for this location, we have another option to be considered. That's to put the install build a median in the center of the street to help to reduce the crossing distance for the students, and also every time they need only to cross one lane, one direction, and then stop and then cross the rest of the crosswalk.
So this alternative, once the bike lane project is underway, you would need to integrate your design, because I think the first alternative would work better with the bike lanes, because this will become a pinch point if you add a ped refuge island and wouldn't give them enough space to clear through the intersection. So again, what we're proposing are concepts, and we will integrate with the 2024 bikeway study so that hopefully it won't slip through the cracks. You need to make sure that, timing, if you have a CIP project and you're planning to put in a ped refuge island, let's say, but you need to be cognizant of when your bikeway project is underway, because you need to sit down and look at consequences of putting in a ped refuge island, and then 2 years later, if you're putting in the bike lanes, have a conflict. So we're at least identifying the projects. So we would probably add an asterisk to this alternative that states, not recommended with bike lanes. The other alternative would be the alternative to use if bike lanes are.
So that's all of our locations. Any comments or questions?
Councilmember Robertson?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. You saw me turn my mic on. No, I just want to say I appreciate your time and efforts in this and the presentation. Obviously, it means a lot to us being citizens of Havre de Grace, and it appears that it meant a lot to you guys as well. So I appreciate that. I just want to reiterate something that was mentioned at the very beginning, that there is a lot of grant funding available through the state, through the Safe Streets program, that especially these downtown projects we can really lean in on, even if they are in the civic spine, that will help offset the cost for the downtown restoration project. So I think that this is a very useful document to have. We already have the engineering for, say, Pennington in hand, which would make our grant application pretty easy and quick to get recognized. So I really appreciate this. This is a very useful tool to have in our arsenal as we move forward to get other things done.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer?
I just want to concur and say thank you. You brought a fresh eye to many of these situations and made us think differently. I know this is been a lot of discussion at our street and traffic safety meeting, and we look forward to taking your wonderful ideas and figuring out how we can get to the next step. I truly appreciate the amount of time that you took and the level of effort that you took to listen to the people of Havre de Grace. It was noted, it was discussed in social media, et cetera, on how you guys constructed the meeting and how well it went. So I want to say thank you on behalf of them for listening, because for many years, nobody listened to us about the problems that we had, and it got very aggravating. So thank you.
Any question? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll give you some time if you need to grab that.
Please, you don't have to stay here the whole time.
Yeah, go ahead and grab all your stuff if you want. Okay, we're going to go to item number 10, resolutions. This evening, we have 3 resolutions. We're going to start with item A, which is calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement at 119, 123 Market Street. My apologies, Councilor Schnagus.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement at 119 and 123 Market Street.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Schnagus, seconded by Councilmember Boyer. This is a motion to introduce a calendar resolution. Are there any questions or comments on the introduction of this resolution? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce calendar resolution carries 5-0 in the affirmative. Council, this be known as calendar resolution 2024-11, 2024-11. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland pursuant to Section 33 and 34 of the City Charter and the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland for approval of license agreement to continue the Signature Sidewalk as part of the Graw Alley Public Art Project and make public space improvements at 119, 123 Market Street right away. Council, I have a motion to adopt calendar resolution 2024-11.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boger and seconded by Councilmember Boyer. Questions or comments? Councilmember Schnagus.
Yes, this license is a request to use a 25 feet by 358 feet section of the city's right-of-way in front of the Graw Alley and along Bourbon Street to add steps, patios, parking, and use the space as part of the public art project, and basically to improve the public space.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Schnagus. Any other questions or comments?
Just one, Mayor. Is this, and I probably direct this to the Director of Economic Development, is this part of the grant, was there a grant conducted for the sidewalk in front of Graw Alley? Is that?
We have a grant application in right now for community legacy funding for the sidewalk, but this project is not part of the sidewalk. So should we receive the grant, then we could revisit it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on calendar resolution 2024-11. Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Schnagus.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 5-0 in the affirmative, City Council calendar resolution 2024-11 is adopted 5-0 in the affirmative. Okay, item B, another calendar resolution. Councilmember Schnagus.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement at 412 North Union Avenue.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Schnagus. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Robertson. This is a motion to introduce a license agreement at 412 North Union Avenue. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce a resolution carries 5-0 in the affirmative. Council, this be known as calendar resolution 2024-12. 2024-12. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland pursuant to sections 33 and 34 of the City Charter and the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland for approval of license agreement to replace a front porch at 412 North Union Avenue right away. Council, I have a motion to adopt calendar resolution 2024-12.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Boker, seconded by Councilmember Boyer, seconded by Councilmember Boger. Right? Okay. Okay, we got that straight. Questions or comments before the roll call vote? Councilmember Schnagus.
Yes, this front porch is basically a replacement to shore it up and to also make sure that it's, looking nice and beautiful. Curb appeal.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Schnagus. Any other questions or comments? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on 2024-12. Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenanigans.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 5-0 in the affirmative, City Council Calendar Resolution 2024-12 is approved. Item C, another calendar resolution. Councilmember Shenanigans.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement at 654 Water Street.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenanigans and seconded by Councilmember Robertson. This is a motion to introduce a calendar resolution. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce the resolution carries 5-0 in the affirmative. This will be known as Calendar Resolution 2024-13, 2024-13. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to Sections 33 and 34 of the City Charter and the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland for approval of a license agreement to construct a waiting area for patrons at 654 Water Street right-of-way. Council, I have a motion to adopt Calendar Resolution 2024-13.
So moved.
A motion by Councilmember Robertson. I have a second. Have a motion by Councilmember Robertson. Do I have a second? Okay, Calendar Resolution 2024-13 fails for lack of a second. Okay, we're going to go to item 11, ordinances. Ordinance number 11, I'm sorry.
A point of understanding. So the calendar resolution is declined, as in when you say failed, do you mean like it's basically council voting it down?
Well,
Because my intent was,
it got a number by being introduced and accepted by council, but it didn't get a second. So
So it's
because
just,
it was brought to life with a number, my understanding was that if it didn't get passed on introduction, then it's not voted up or down, it just didn't get introduced. But it got introduced, got a number, didn't get a second. So what's your take on it?
it's the effect of not, it's just not being passed, so it's not effective. So it's not effective in its current form. That doesn't mean it can't be presented in another form with changes to the original request.
okay, because my,
It'll get a new number at that point, though.
yeah, my intent was to have this go back to the committee, go to the planning committee for committee review. And I assumed that would be, just simply a motion to table, but that has to be done after there's a motion to approve on first reading, right?
Correct. So this just didn't move any further.
Okay. So there's still the opportunity for the committee to review it and come back.
Correct.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Because if it would have gotten voted down, it would have not been brought back for 180 days, right?
That's my understanding.
Okay, all right, so, all right. It still has a life to it, because it didn't get, yeah.
We'll be getting together for next council.
That we shall do.
Okay, all right, no problem. Okay, item 11, ordinances, ordinance 1157, second reading. I was going to hand this off to Council President to introduce it, but Councilmember Shenanigans, do you mind introducing this one as well?
Certainly. Certainly, Mayor. Thank you very much. Mayor and Council, I move to introduce ordinance 1157 concerning amending Chapter 25, Planning Commission and Board of Appeals on the second reading.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenanigans. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Boker. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1157 on second reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. About 5 ayes? Okay, all right. Okay, All right, motion to introduce 1157, second reading carries 5-0 in the affirmative. This is header 1157, an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and Section 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend Chapter 25 pertaining to Board of Appeals and Planning Commission. Council will have a motion to adopt 1157 on second reading.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Robertson, second by Councilmember Boger. Questions or comments? Councilman Robertson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, just a simple amendment to change the lines below from 10 to 15 calendar days. This was brought to council's attention by Mr. Chip Place at the last meeting. So the amendment is as follows: to change the number 10 to 15 calendar days in line 41, line 42, line 158, line 159, and line 162.
Council, I have a motion by Councilman Robertson. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilmember Schnegas. Questions or comments on Councilman Robertson's amendment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Councilman Robertson's amendment is approved, 5-0 in the affirmative. Thank you very much, Councilman Robertson. Back under the question for 1157, second reading. Any other further questions or comments? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on ordinance 1157 on second reading. Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Schnegas.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 5-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1157 concerning amending Chapter 25 Planning Commission and Board of Appeals is approved by council on second reading. Thank you, council. We're going to go to number 12, old business. This evening we have no old business. Item 13, new business. We have no new business. And that'll take us to our director's reports, and we're going to start with Dr. Ritchie. Director of Administration.
Thank you, Mayor, council, citizens. So a couple comments today. As everybody knows, the Independence Day Parade and festivities is this Saturday, July 6th. The parade starts at 2 p.m. There will be no parking along the parade route from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The parade route is along Union Avenue from Warren Street to Commerce Street. And in the area of Concord Point Lighthouse, there will be no parking from 11 a.m. to midnight. In this area, there'll be food trucks, the Maryland Military Band, and fireworks. You need to expect heavy traffic, so please leave early and try to carpool. Park in an area that's further away and walk, and don't park in areas that are parked or that are posted no parking. Your vehicle will be towed. The Tide trolleys are going to be in operation that day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. There will be a pause in service from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. during the parade. Do not set up chairs or blankets along the parade route on city property until 8 a.m. the day of the parade, please. And then you will also see a significant police presence during the Independence Day celebration. We do this to ensure the safety of our city and all our visitors who come and enjoy a family-friendly, patriotic celebration. So when you see an officer, be sure to say hello. And all this information, including a map that highlights the parade route, road closures, and no parking areas, is available on the city's website, and we will also be pushing out this information to the citizens as the week progresses. And I would like to make a special thank you to EJ, your staff in DPW, and Chief, your staff in the PD, for all the hard work that you are currently doing and will be doing in support of this event. And also thank you to all the other staff that has worked behind the scenes to make it successful, and especially all those wonderful volunteers out in our city that work very hard throughout the year to put this event on. So I would like to personally thank Dr. Colin Ward with the University of Maryland Upper Chesapeake Health. He and I have been working together to facilitate the large parking lot behind Harford Memorial Hospital to be used as a public parking lot during city events. and the parking lot will be open for public parking for the Independence Day celebration and other events such as First Friday. But please note that the parking garage itself that's across Union from Hartford Memorial Hospital is not open to the public at any time, so please do not try to park there. And then speaking of First Friday, this Friday is also First Friday in Havre de Grace. It's going to be a very busy weekend, but I hope you and your family and friends are able to come and enjoy a little bit of time with us in this amazing event. And that concludes my comments for this evening.
Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate the update. And we're going to go to Mr. Tim Borsier, Director of Planning. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I have our permitting numbers from last month. We only had 3 new construction permits and 7 renovation permits. However, for fiscal year 24, we had 159 new construction permits. In 2022, we had 77, and last fiscal year, we had 74. So we've doubled our production last fiscal year for new construction. Otherwise, thank you guys for the patience during the Safe Streets for All discussion. There's a lot of technical information in there, and we'll be sure to get that to you for other purposes. But I hope it was informative of the amount of work and detail that went into that project. That's it for me.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Ms. Bridget Johnson, Director of Economic Development and Tourism.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens at home. The Economic Development Advisory Board will not meet during the month of July. We will resume meeting on Wednesday, August 21st, 4:00 p.m. here in Council Chambers. And also the new public bathrooms at the Visitor Center located at 450 Pennington Avenue will be completed this Wednesday, July 3rd. That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. And Mr. Horty's out in the audience, so we have a guest speaker here tonight. I was just about to say, George Horty. Good evening, Abdul. How are you, sir?
Good evening, Mayor. Nice to meet you.
It's okay. It's all good.
Mayor, council members. Before I get started in terms of the financial numbers, I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. This is for our accountant nerds. This is pretty
Happy New Year.
Day, so Happy New Year, fiscal New Year. I know there's no festivals or fireworks, but we also have a happy. So a rundown in terms of the funds. The general fund, the fund balance sits at 2.2 million, which is up 38,700 from the last report. No change in terms of the beginning balance for the year. In terms of revenues, it's been up since the last report, 631,000. Expenditures are up 592,000. So this is in terms of our net difference of 38,700. In terms of the water and sewer fund, the fund balance sits at 3.2 million, which is down 90,000. In terms of revenues, it's up 36,800 since last report. And in terms of expenditures, it's up 126,800 since our last reporting. Finally, in terms of the Marina Fund, the fund balance sits at 798,000. It's down 3,900. Beginning balance has not changed. In terms of revenues, no change as well. In terms of expenditures, it's up in terms of 3,900. In terms of beginning our fiscal year, in terms of, obviously it started today. In terms of our property tax rolls, we received that just Sunday. So there's a queue in terms of uploading to our financial module, utility module, property tax module. So we're expecting the upload this Wednesday, so it's going to be a slight delay in terms of getting those bills out. But again, it's not due until 90 days in October. So just want to make sure in terms of the folks out there, they're aware in terms of the delay in terms of billing. Apart from that, that's about it on my side. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the update. Good evening, EJ. Mr. Malizer, Director of Public Works. How goes it?
Staying busy, Mayor. Appreciate it. Mayor, council members, citizens, want to discuss 3 quick topics with you guys. First, pump stations. Then I want to go over MDE water audit and our DPW chief's retirement. The pump stations, over the past few weeks, as mentioned in the last council meeting, we did have the crews working kind of around the clock with interruptions, just making sure that rather no disruptions happen to the citizens. So I wanted to give them a proper shout out. Several bypass pumps going, but they ensured that city kept running. So shout out to the crews. Combination of storms and non-flushable wipes. So when those non-flushable wipes get flushed, they become like a stringy, fibrous material, almost like a rope-like structure, and clog the pumps and pipes. So I did want to mention throw sanitary products away where they're supposed to be in the garbage. Also, it is barbecue season, so we do get a lot of fat oils and grease, or fog as we call it, from everything we love, like bacon and burgers, which I really enjoy. But just mention to residents not to flush it down the drain because it does clog the pipes up. We recommend that you let it dry out and throw it away with regular trash. So just a few items to note. And again, thanks for the crews keeping the city sanitary and safe. The water audit report, I did want to follow up on my last council meeting. I talked about the CCR going out. That is up on the website for residents to view. So you take a look at that. Also, the mailers are going out soon. If you have not received them, you can look on the website and see the same results. Some good news on the water audit report. Mayor and council, with your help over the past year, we had 14,210 linear feet of water infrastructure installed, and that helped reduce about 8.2% of water loss citywide. So we are on the right course. We are making a positive effort toward reducing the water loss, so thank you for your investment and efforts. Lastly, our DPW chief has retired. Mr. Jeff Keithley faithfully served the city for 20 years. Thank you all for joining us on his ceremony and farewell. And Chief, also happy serving next to you, and it's been a pleasure. And thank you for sticking with us at least through the 4th of July. I know Jeff couldn't do the same, but we do appreciate you, so thank you. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malizer. Appreciate it. Chief Teresa Walter.
Mayor Martin. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mr. Ritchie, or Dr. Ritchie, went over most of the things that I was going to mention about our 4th of July celebration. There are a couple of other things. We just ask that please don't move any kind of barricades at all. Don't move no parking signs, and please do not move any cones or anything like that. They're very, very instrumental in keeping our public safe and also drivers safe, so please don't move any of those, even though you might be tempted to do it, because it's going to, reduce your shortcut or reduce your time in traffic, but please don't do that. The other thing is please listen to officers whenever they give you any kind of directions. Again, we want to try to get everybody out of town, if you don't live in town, but out of town as quickly and as safely as possible. So that also kind of segues into please do not drive distracted. We definitely don't want any pedestrians, little children hurt at all during the celebration. And finally, to answer the #1 question that our dispatchers get for the 4th of July, the answer is when it's dark. People just want to call us to find out when the fireworks are, and it's when it's dark. So that is the #1 question that they get. And finally, as Mr. Malizer had mentioned, this is my last council meeting because I will be retiring on the 7th. This is my last of 456 council meetings, and they've all been toe curlers. No, but I really do want to thank the mayor, the council, and the citizens. It has been an honor to serve here in the city of Havre Grace. This is an amazing community. The first time I was really introduced to it was when I was in college, and I rented a small room from a very nice family off of Bloomsbury Avenue, and I said, you know what, this is an amazing little place. I've seen Vigna's and Tim's Tavern turn into Coakley's. Mr. Z. Witt's Jewelers is now a coffee shop. Allen Fair's Mini Mall is now an art gallery. So I've seen a lot over the years. But I really do want to thank the citizens. They've been amazing to us. They've been amazing to me. They truly, truly do support our officers, and I want them to continue to do that. For my colleagues up here, thank you very much. EJ always called DPW our first responders. So if something's clogged or something, snow there, whatever, you guys have always been there to help us. I'll get to finance in a minute. We need more money. I'm just telling you that, George. Economic development as well as planning. Again, I don't like to see any vacant stores, houses, or anything in our city. I want everything burgeoning, and you guys do an amazing job. You really, really do. So thank you all very much for helping us out. We really do appreciate it. So, Mayor, that will be it. That's my comments. Thank you.
Gee, Chief. Not really sure what to say at this point, but I was thinking, you said 456 meetings? Yes, sir. So I just scribbled some math. Like, let's just say the average meeting is 2 hours. Mm-hmm. That's 912 hours. If you divide that by 24, that's like sitting in that chair for 38 straight days. That's how long it is.
Yeah, sometimes one night feels like that.
I know. That is like, that's really, really amazing to get your hands around. So,
thank you.
All right, well, that's pretty cool, Chief. Just a couple things real quick. Yeah, as everybody's been mentioning, 4th of July is coming. We're very excited about it. The actual 4th is Thursday, as you know, but the city likes to celebrate on the weekends on Saturday. We always try to stay off the actual 4th for various reasons. Other people have theirs planned on the 4th. But we also find it more advantageous to have our parade on an off day because we could probably get more parade entrants. I happen to know the person who's running the parade, and I know we're close to 130 entrants. So it's a lot of people. It's going to be a nice parade, very nice parade on Saturday. Starts at 2 o'clock. And, like I say, there's going to be a lot of people there. Everybody's going to have a good time. Please be careful. Drink lots of water. It's going to be warm. And, we hope everybody gets along. There's no arguments. Even if you go out and stake out your little area early in the morning, be mindful that you're not the only person watching the parade. So you don't need to take 50 linear feet for 6 chairs. Just make sure you share with everybody. Okay, there's plenty of land to be shared with everybody. So I'm just going to be honest. I see the whole parade route over and over again. Okay, sometimes people have like a little 5x5 spot for 8 chairs. And some people think because they have to cut the grass in front of their house on Union Avenue that the entire block is theirs, and they'll rope it off with yellow tape, and there's 6 chairs with like 120 linear feet. So I don't need to tell you what that looks like. People have already formed their opinions about it. But, just keep in mind that, right away is public property on the curb to the sidewalk side of the road. So just please take what you need for your family and your friends, and please share, the road front with everybody. There's plenty for everybody. There's plenty of room to go around for everybody. Everyone just have a good time. Be nice. Be neighborly. Havre Grace always puts their best foot forward. And hopefully the weather will be good for the fireworks on Saturday night without incident. There's a lot of things going on. So if you want to know what's going on at the Independence Day Parade, just go to the Independence Day Commission website, Facebook page, city site. We have all the stuff on there. Explore Havre Grace. Concerts are going on at Hutchins Park. There's concerts going on at a place where the lighthouse is. Concord Point Park. Thank you very much. Yeah, that place. Anyway, sorry. So we're going to have a good time. So, you know what? The trolleys ran for 3 days last weekend, had over almost 700 riders on it, and traveled 492 miles. So and all on electric. I love reporting that because we transported 700 citizens or visitors around our city, and didn't take 1 ounce of gas. And so they all had a good time. I also had the pleasure of attending the change of command, or it's actually called the Assumption of Command ceremony at Aberdeen Proving Ground on Friday. Major General Edmondson has stepped down from his command post at APG earlier in June, and the new commanding general, James Tornetti, took assumption of command on Friday. So for those many citizens who live in Havre Grace and work at APG, I'm sure you are well aware of it, but we have always had a really good relationship with the folks on APG, especially the commanding generals lately, and they've always been big fans of Havre Grace events, and they've sent either themselves or they sent subordinates over here to celebrate our parades with us and celebrate just all kinds of stuff, Holly Jolly First Fridays, things like that. So I know that we've extended an invitation to the new Major General to see the parade and fireworks, and him and his wife have accepted. So it's a great way to welcome them to Hartford County. And so if you see a big man with 2 stars on his shoulder, it looks like he's about to bark out some orders, say hello, Mr. Tornetti, General Tornetti. So real nice person. With that said, I just want to say a couple words, Chief. I mean, I know you're not big on big goodbyes and stuff like that, but I do want to say it's I could say it's been an honor and privilege to work with you, Chief, but you know what? It's been more than that. It's been an education. So, no, it has been. It is. I've been here since 2008. I know you've been here about maybe 3 years more than that. And like thinking about some of the things you've seen change over time, and there has been a lot of things that have changed over time, and most of it's been for the better. And it's one good thing about Havre de Grace is we like to learn from our mistakes or errors and try to improve upon them. But watching you lead your team, your command force over there, watching the officers under you grow from private to corporal to sergeant, some even made it to lieutenant, watching how you diffuse situations. I mean, God, in the last 16, 17 years, I can imagine like all the threats of assemblies and riots we were supposed to have and things like that, and everything you always got out ahead of it, you always diffused it, and always in a positive way. And just watching you work and how you handle things, what I mean when I say it's been education to me, I really enjoyed watching your leadership, Chief. Try to take some lessons from it myself. And like I say, I know you're leaving a great team for the city of Havre de Grace. I have no doubts about that. And we're very excited about Captain John Crass to take over your position, and Captain Alton Joe Alton be moved up to Major to assist Chief Crass. But again, all the men and women on your force, like I said, it's just when I think back of the time that I've been on council and the mayor, I've been very fortunate. We've been very fortunate, the town. You've always picked good men and women to the best of your abilities. But like I say, your leadership, your calm, steady hand, your ability to get out in front of situations, to diffuse situations. And I'll never forget one thing you always taught me. If it's predictable, it's preventable. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget that. And, so it's like, so I've learned a lot of things you taught me. I won't admit all of the stuff here, but I mean, just watching you and working with you, I appreciate it. Thanks for being part of the Havre de Grace team for as long as you have. Like I say, we're very grateful, and I'm sure a lot of people have great things to say, but I just felt like I've known you for a long time, and I'm very proud of you making the choice to, say, hey, there's some other things I want to do with my life, I know you always want the possibility of shooting somebody every time you get up in the morning, but, I know that gets you out of bed, and maybe I can tase somebody today.
Yeah, there you go.
No? Okay. All right. But anyway, thanks again, Chief, and,
Thank you, Mayor.
It's always a place here to call home, okay?
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you
Betcha.
very much.
And with that said, we're going to go to comments from council, and we're going to start off with Councilmember Shanegas.
Why, thank you, Mayor, Council, Administration, citizens in the audience and at home. It is a good summer start, kicking off with some sunshine and rain, getting us grounded in all things beautiful about where we live. Havre de Grace, Maryland. Looking forward to seeing everybody out for the 4th of July / 6th of July parade, but make sure in between that on First Fridays you come out and visit the vendors and the restaurants that are out and about and the artists that are displaying their workmanship and just meeting new people. So I'm thankful that we have a wonderful city that's protected and invitive to all people in our area, and people come from far and wide. So as you're there visiting, please make sure you take some time to stroll just a little bit past and go down to Harmerstown on Market Street and kick up your heels with the artists at Gras Alley. They are also going to have some vendors down there, and you'll get an opportunity to see the murals that are in the works and that signature sidewalk and that space that we voted on tonight. You could check it out and see what the possibilities are there. So with that said, I just want to reflect on the fact that Chief Walters came into my life 7 years ago. And she was a wonderful influence as a person that brought her community to a sense of calmness. I always felt safe here, and if I didn't feel safe or had a concern, I could call out and everything was taken care of. Her team has been amazing. But as I got to know Chief in a more personal level and involved with council, I thank you so much for the opportunity to get involved with your team, to go on a ride along and see the other side of the law and what citizens, how they're perceived from your perspective. And it was nothing but respect. And I just felt like, the officer that I was set to ride along with, Officer Petz, he loves this community as much as you, and I just am thankful for that. And I'm also thankful for the Special Olympics and being able to just be a part of that, making the polar plunge and the fundraisers and the torch runs available for everyone in the community to be a part of, and for allowing me to have an opportunity to go on a sheriff boat ride. That was a first for me, and it was amazing just to be a part of the city, to be a part of a connection between Cecil County and the leg of the torch run through Harford County to Baltimore, and it just felt really nice. So thank you, and I know that you've left lasting impressions, and our town is in great shape, and I hope that you please come back and visit us on First Fridays when you're not vacationing, and take time to come to a council meeting or maybe after Friday in the park. We will definitely be missed, but I know you're still here, and I thank you so much. And with that said, I just want to wish everybody a very happy not Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness. See? You got me right here. I was trying to be unsensitive because goodbyes are hard, but you left footprints on my heart, and I just want to say Happy Independence Day again to all of you. And with that said, I give it all back to you, Mayor, and my fellow council members. Good night.
You must have a turkey dinner on your mind or something.
Right? Turkey legs.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shanegas, and good evening, Councilmember Robertson.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, city staff, fellow council members, ladies and gentlemen here and at home. Thanksgiving and Independence Day are uniquely American holidays, so I will forgive you for that one. First thing is that August 17th, just a reminder, Refuel for School. That's the back-to-school event, giveaway of many school supplies. We thank Vulcan for coming through with that. Stack and Store, the Seroptimus, Amtrak. So we've got a lot of donors and sponsors. It's going to be a great event. Bring your kids, bring your family. There'll be food, plenty of entertainment, and inflatables, all that good stuff. So it's a festival really geared for families and kids and getting them ready to go back to school. Concord Point Park, 3 p.m. August 17th. And before that, if you have time, I Need Bodies on August 15th. That's the Thursday prior at 6 p.m. at the American Legion Hall to start putting the backpacks and all together. We gave out 400 last year, but it takes some time, to get all the supplies sorted because we're going by the different lists for the elementary school, middle school, high school. So it just takes a little bit of time to get that stuff sorted, but it's a lot of fun. Packing the bags is a lot of fun. We usually do some pizza or something like that, so it's a good time. Any volunteerism on August 15th at 6 p.m. at the American Legion Hall in Havre de Grace would be absolutely appreciated. And finally, Chief, I'm not going to give you a big, heartfelt, sultry goodbye because Chief told me that she's planning to come back as a volunteer. And I said, you're going to be an auxiliary police officer. She said, absolutely not. I'm going to do the fun stuff. I'm going to be pouring beer and hanging out. So I really look forward to seeing you back in the community, out of uniform and without that vest on in the July and August heat. But yeah, Chief, I mean, just to echo the comments, you're more than just an officer. I mean, you're truly a public servant that cares about your role, and I've been appreciative of that. I've been in awe of that. I feel like we are just so lucky here in Havre de Grace to not have the situation that other municipalities have with not only turnover, but with corruption and, all with that, within the entire force. So it's not just the head, but the head always takes the blame for all that. So I just really appreciate you running such a tight ship, bringing in good officers that are now ready to fulfill your role as your outgoing. And I think, the city's been better having you here, and having your mark on this city will be felt for some time. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Robertson. Good evening, Councilmember Booker.
Mayor Martin, directors, our legal assistant, our director of administration, everybody, citizens who are with us in the audience, and those who are at home. I'll keep my comments short. Dr. Ricker, I think you said that the parking lot behind the hospital would be available for parking during the Independence Day Commission?
Yes, sir. It's going to
parade?
For the parade, it's going to be public parking.
Oh, okay. Now, that's good to hear. Now, I'll definitely get the word out on that. I'm actually part of the Independence Day. I'm very proud to be on the Independence Day Commission, chaired by someone that we all know and love up here. So I'll be traveling up and down, checking on vendors and things of that nature. I'm looking forward to it. But I will kind of foot stomp, the safety thing, right? Everyone up here, we have a charter, right? And one of our charters is to protect the assets of Havre de Grace, right? And that's not just tangible; it's also people. So we really do actually care, right? So whenever there's instructions given or safety advice provided, please do go ahead and take heed to that. And note that those who enforce the law aren't always really available. So we ask that if you see something, say something. If you can stop an event or keep someone safe, really appreciate it. Especially children in the streets. It's always a big one. We always see children running in the streets for candy and things of that nature. And before you know it, a really good time turns out to be a really bad time. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and make my remarks small and sweet and short. I want to thank our first responders. That includes the medical responders as well as our DPW, who are now part of the first responder force, right? So thank you for DPW. I also want to thank our fantastic police department. I want to also share my farewells with Chief. I'd be remiss if I didn't say I learned much from you. I appreciate you not arresting me for whipping out my pocket knife, and I was just going to carve a toothpick, and she came up behind me and said, "You need to put the knife away, Mr. Bunker." As some citizens' complaints, I was like, "Okay, no problem." Now I carry my own toothpick in my back pocket. I will not whittle one. Polar Plunge was amazing. You guys led me by the hand down there. You also led me into that freezing cold water. I appreciate that. We'll not forget that one. So it's great. Our police department, they're our unsung heroes. They're always keeping the wolf at the door. We knock on wood. We pride ourselves on a low volatility rate within our district, and that's a testament to our police department. So heartfelt thanks. Also heartfelt thanks to the Susquehanna Host Company, who continue to keep us safe at night. And Mayor Martin, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Booker. And good evening, Councilmember Jones.
Good evening, Mayor, Council Directors, citizens in the audience, and citizens at home. Chief, I have not known you well, but it's been a pleasure, and I wanted to say congratulations to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you with your hair down. When I see you out in the public at events, I really don't recognize you. You look so happy and joyful, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of that in your retirement. And the final thing that I want to say is that tomorrow is the 60th anniversary of the signing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And for those of you who don't know about it, it was signed by Lyndon B. Johnson, and it prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. So tomorrow, Harford County, the Harford Community College is having a acknowledgement. It will be a panel full with individuals from the county to talk about their experiences and where they see civil rights in our county going forward. I will be moderating that, and if you're around, come out and join us. You can Google HCC Civil Rights Act, and it should come up. You can ask me. It's also on my my page, my Facebook page for City Council, and you can also watch it virtually. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones. Good evening, Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you. First, I just want to thank the planning department. You know, the document that was presented tonight was, you know, thick, and it was a lot of information. But the work is extremely important to get us to the next level of where we need to be as far as getting people, the flow of traffic and people through our community safely. And it's going to be the kind of document that we're going to be referring to for the, I don't know, in the next 10 years probably as we move forward. So thank you and everybody who worked on it. Again, I know I said it when the consultants were here, but truly the level of compassion for listening to the community was wonderful, and it's exactly what we need to do. The people who live here have unique perspectives, and many times, the consummate engineering way, I can fix any problem there is, but sometimes just taking a step back and listening just opens you up, and watching how people move through an area naturally tells you a lot too. So clearly they did that. I think it's an excellent document. I look forward to getting there's multiple versions. I want to have whatever the last version was, but to move forward and figure out how we get to that next step with everybody, the county, the state, and us all agreeing with what the next steps are going to be all along Route 40, first, second, and third order, et cetera, but pushing us further down the way so that we're not constantly kicking the can, as has been happening now for decades with many of those intersections. Independence Day, I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of those things that was one of the first things when I moved to Havre that I volunteered for. I did that and the Christmas tour were the two first things that when I moved to Havre that I volunteered for. And I just love doing it. I want to let everybody know to keep an eye out. About halfway through the parade, the green team is going to be making the announcement on which bird was selected to represent us for Bird City. So it's all hush. I'm not going to let you know. There were several birds in the running for it, but the announcement will be made during the parade. And then finally, Chief, I just really want to thank you very much. On multiple levels, not only for your leadership, but for your perseverance and being being the first of your kind. It really makes a difference in our community. Your passion for the safety of our community is clear, and it transforms your whole department. The way you've elevated the profession of policing within the department, and not just the department, but within our larger community, Harford County, on out to Cecil County and Baltimore County. I see you out there in other communities, not just Havre de Grace, elevating the profession of policing. And that makes a difference, and it makes Havre de Grace a place where people can point to and say that's a safe place to be, and I appreciate you for that. You always have a positive approach. It just, I think, is built into your system. I will never forget some of the stories that you told about when you were in the sheriff's office and how you just kindly dealt with the situation. when somebody didn't want to deal with you because you were a female officer, and you just waited for the state police officer to come, who happened to be a woman. That's just a fabulous story. And then, again, your just professionalism throughout it all. I wish you the best as you enjoy the next phase of your life. Hopefully you get some time to go to La Isla Bonita and enjoy your time down there. I do have a major concern in regards to Luna. I'm hoping that there's been a transference of responsibility and buying of the food.
There is. Don't worry, we've got that covered.
Okay. And then finally, this is not a goodbye. It's just a very heartfelt and deep thank you for your service.
Thank you very much for your kind words. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. And so we're going to go to item 17 now, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Jones and seconded by Councilmember Boker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn carries 5-0 in the affirmative. The time is now 9:17. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great 4th of July. Be safe, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks. Thank you.